back to Half Men Talk. I'm your host Shane Mitchell. In the studio, we have Jordan today. He's kindly agreed to give up some of his time. We're going to talk about a few issues. We're going to get straight into it as normal. As always, like and subscribe, and look forward to it. Okay, Jordan, thanks very much for coming in. And I know you're a busy man. You've obviously seen some of the YouTube videos I've done already. Any of the favourites that you like the look of? I know you liked Andy's interview. That was quite good, wasn't it?
To be honest, mate, I think the whole concept's great. What you're doing, I commend you for it.
Yeah,
I think
man.
it's brilliant.
It's hard work.
Obviously, Andy's being a sports fan, and Andy being a boxer, that obviously relate to that. But all of them have got their worth in watching, and the message is the biggest thing.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, trying to get people through the door is hard because like a lot of people don't want to be on camera because they're just worried. They're just worried they're going to say the wrong thing, or they're worried about people looking at them in certain ways. But then when they come on and then people message them, they're like, "Oh, mate, that was absolutely amazing. Can't believe you felt that way. I feel the same way." Like it's not so much. It's awareness. It's just raising awareness. We're men. We're human. Do you know what I mean? We have emotions, man. And we bottle it up because we don't want the world to see.
For sure.
Because we're told, don't we? When we grow up, you're told, boys don't cry, man up. Do you know what I mean? All that. Yeah. And then when you get to a certain age, you're like, I'm not quit for this. For sure. So if I can get people talking, then I'm onto a good thing.
It's a good thing.
So what I want to do is I want to start at the beginning.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So obviously not when you were born. You can't remember that. But let's talk about your interest with sport because I know you King Rugby. What got you into rugby, and who got you into rugby?
But to be honest, I was always football. If I'm honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I was. Also, my dad used to play professionally.
Who did he play for?
He played for Luton.
Is it?
Yeah. Back in the 70s, a long time ago, mate. But yeah, no, I was always football and football mad, really. And then
because you're a Liverpool fan. Yeah.
I am, Liverpool fan, big Liverpool fan. Passed it on to my boy Spencer.
Yeah, is he into his football?
Yeah, loves it. Absolutely football mad.
Playing as well?
Yeah. Plays for Longford. They got a really good youth setup.
He plays there. Yeah. My brother's son plays for Longford. How old was he? 7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah.
So he was quite young, but yeah, they got some good coaches down there. Sure. They still at the back of the not rugby, it's the
Village Hall.
Yeah,
off Longford Lane. Yeah,
that's
just down there. But yeah, no, it's all good. But going back to what you said, I was always football, to be honest. Like football mad.
Yeah.
To be honest, didn't quite have my dad's ability, but I used to enjoy it.
You turned up.
And then I struggled with my knees quite badly. I think I've had 7 ops now.
I remember that. I remember you saying bad.
7 knee ops I've had.
7 knee ops.
I had to stop playing football at, I think I was 20. And then I used to just have the odd game of rugby. I didn't massively enjoy it, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I did it just more for the social crack.
Yeah.
I used to have the odd game of rugby, obviously at St. Bridge where I met you. But yeah, sport got cut quite short when I was,
How do you remember dealing with that?
20. I struggled.
Yeah.
Massively. I struggled with it. Yeah. Probably channeled it in the wrong way as well, to be fair. Gone from playing sport all your as a kid up to like early teens, late teens, sorry. And when I couldn't do it, my knee just wouldn't allow me to do it. I did struggle with it. A lot.
Yeah. I think because your mind, like you're young, well, you are young.
Yeah.
So your mind's like, what the fuck? Like, I should be able to play this.
Yeah, absolutely.
My body's.
Yeah.
So like, I imagine that was. Did you talk to anyone about it?
No, I think when they're talking, you mentioned it at the start. We're from the same sort of age, aren't we? We it's probably still like the last of the old school generation.
Yeah.
It was probably like seen as weak.
Yeah.
Not obviously not now at all, but it was seen as weak. And no, I wouldn't talk about it at all. I'd just channel things into the wrong things.
Yeah.
To be
honest.
What
was your outlet? Like what was you channeling yourself into?
All the wrong things, mate. Alcohol, drugs, self-destruct really.
Yeah,
I was on a self-destruct for a long time, but probably get into that. But yeah.
yeah. So obviously, it got to a point. Your knees were hurting. How did that affect you, work-wise? Was you all right with that? And did you chuck yourself into work a bit as well?
Yeah, so obviously being a plumber it wasn't the best because you work
Oh,
on your
wasn't
knees.
it?
But you just have to adapt,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah.
You got to earn the money and pay the bills. But
Yeah,
it was, yeah, work was, to be honest, was always second best. You know, all through my 20s.
Yeah.
I didn't really mature till I got into my 30s, but we'll probably come on to that.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you're young, work is just all about bringing that money home to blow at the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't
Yeah.
save anything when I was younger. Like, I was in that
No.
flat at 16. So all my money was going on bills. And then
Yeah.
the money I did have, I was just pissing it away.
I can remember your flat, to be fair.
Yeah, tiny little diddy thing, innit? But mate, it was some of the best nights I ever had in that flat. To get a boxer nights on, I get one
Yeah, I
round
can remember. Come over for
Vegas,
back in the day.
stay up all night. Everyone's like that. Like, oh, come the fight night, everyone's absolutely knackered. But.
Yeah.
So what? Obviously, with your knees. So when was your first knee operation? How old was you on your first?
I think I was around 16.
16.
Yeah, quite young.
That's young. Man.
Yeah, 16, mate. And then
what was the issue?
So I've got chronic tendonitis, patella tendonitis.
Okay.
And it's developed into arthritis.
Got arthritis in the knees?
Yeah,
oh,
it's my left knee. So yeah, it is what it is now.
Yeah,
you know?
mate, I ain't gonna lie. That
it is what it is.
That word arthritis, like, you just don't associate with people our age. Do you?
Yeah, not at all.
I had like last year, I come off the tools, and I went done this job, technical training, and my shoulder started hurting, like real bad shoulder. I I couldn't shake it. I thought, I'm getting old. It's, you know, eventually it would heal, whatever. It wasn't healing. It's like pain. I was in pain most days. So about, I don't know, 2 months ago, finally went to the doctor. I was like, look, I need a scan or something right. So they scanned it, X-ray. They come out, you got arthritis in your shoulder.
Really?
I was like, what?
Yeah.
42 years old. Like, that ain't right. And they're like, you got. They did say it's not common at all for some age, but I'm attributing it to the roofing in it. So like, obviously 30 years of roofing, it's going to take its toll. Arthritis, it hit me like a truck, mate. Honestly, I was like in the days.
Yeah.
Like, and that's me at 42. So you getting told that in your 20s, like, your knees are shot.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I think I was 19 when I actually got told. Like, yeah, but yes.
Is it hereditary? Is it in the family?
Well, I think my granddad on my mum's side had like sort of chronic arthritis, but I don't know if it's passed on from that.
Yeah,
I just look at it as I was unlucky, mate. That's just how it is.
So you spent, how long would you say you spent dealing with it? Like, before it hit home, you go, right, okay, this is what it is. I'm not gonna let it affect me anymore. Or would you say it's still hitting you now?
Yeah, not as much now. It did affect me, obviously, massively. I think there are other things going on in my life at the time as well that sort of attributed to self-destruct mode.
Yeah.
To be honest, it wasn't just my knee.
Okay.
There were other things going on, but yeah, I was definitely self-destruction. To be honest.
Yeah.
Massively. I look at it now. Obviously, you look back, don't you, when you're older? I think I'm 41 now, coming at 42, and you look back and
you evaluate,
and you do, evaluate. That's a good way of saying it, to be fair. And you can sort of see certain moments and triggers and behaviours. To be honest,
yeah. So what would you say? Let's talk a bit about the self-destruction then. So would you say it was more like partying, drinking, drugs, and like just chasing girls, like just like a typical young man's game? But would you say you were going over the top to compensate for what was going on?
Yeah, 100%. So
like, it was an escape.
Massively an escape, but I could be quite destructive with it as well. It was I look back now, and there are a lot of things that I've done that I wasn't proud of, you know.
Like what?
Drink driving.
Yeah.
in the way that I've probably acted in relationships.
Yeah.
With some really nice girls that wouldn't have deserved that behaviour.
Yeah.
To be honest, neglecting work, like we said, just as an employer now, I look at it very differently, But back then, I neglected a lot of things and channeled things in the wrong way.
Yeah, yeah, man. Like almost letting people down without realizing you're letting people down. Absolutely. And not caring, not giving a shit.
Not caring. I think, yeah.
Tough, isn't it?
Yeah, reflection.
When you think back, you're like, fucking.
Yeah, it's reflection, isn't it?
I think, when we're young, we all do stupid stuff, don't we?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we've all broke hearts. We've had hearts broken. Like, do you know what I mean? It's part of growing up in a way. But I think, especially for you, like when you're saying, like, the drink drive and stuff like that, like, when that happened, how did your family deal with it? Like, what was people telling you at the time?
Disappointment, I think.
Yeah. And how did you feel about that? Like, knowing you've disappointed your loved ones?
Probably upset momentarily, but I think in my 20s I was very selfish.
Yeah.
Just very, oh wow,
Yeah.
It's only now that you really think about it. But at the time, probably, if I'm being brutally honest, oh wow,
Yeah. It's my life.
Yeah.
Do you think, because you've had kids now, that's made you change your mentality and look back and think, I was a bit of a dick?
Oh, massively.
Like, what day did you wake up and go, I can't believe I used to do that?
Probably, to be honest, it wasn't just from having children. I think it was from having a business.
Yeah.
And that growing and evolving.
Yeah.
And
responsibility.
Yeah. Being, recognizing that you've got to be a professional person. There's a certain way you've got to act, speak, behave. And there's been times where I've looked back and I've been like, oh God,
like, oh no,
absolutely.
Can't believe I said that, or can't believe I've done that.
Yeah, definitely.
I had a little whenever we get the guests in, I like try to little research, see if I can get some things on them and stuff like that. Not to dig into them, but like, to talk about. And no, there was someone on Sogloss or something, and you done a little interview with them, and they were saying the first time you was in a big professional meeting and they were using words you didn't understand. You had to Google it.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually
big change, isn't it?
Mate, yeah, I can remember it. I was in the felt sort of out of my depth, I didn't go to uni or anything like that. And even though I have a lot of professional people that have got like little letters after their name and like, kudos to them. But yeah, I literally came out and it's a true
What was
story.
it? So it was a big sort of contract coming in, and
it was what they call a tender meeting.
Yeah.
Which is like, where you price a project basically against other people, and we were in the latter stages of being awarded it. And I can remember we were sat in there, and obviously you don't want to come across as I haven't got a clue what I'm doing here, what's going on, So I've got
give me the job in it, bruv.
I got a professional face on, pretending I know, but I can remember I literally had to come out and had to Google some of the words that they were using. But I think that's pretty cool now to look back.
But you see the growth. I think I always like sort of companies, especially when they've started from the grunt. Do you know what I mean? Like, they've seen it from the dirt level and then they get to the top because they can understand their staff better because they've been there.
Mm-hmm.
So when they communicate with their staff and they say, oh, you don't understand it. I do understand because I've done it. And you can give them a little bit of advice. Look, I've done it this way. You have your own path, but this is,
I have those conversations quite a lot, because especially with the youngsters and touching on things that I've done, destructive things.
Yeah.
And I'm always offering them advice. They probably are, rein it in, boss. But I do sort of tell them,
Grandad Jordan,
not to do certain things. And
did you feel you had many role models?
Yeah, as a child.
Yeah, so a young man. Forget the childhood, because that childhood is one thing, but getting into work life and on this destructive path, was there role models around for you that were trying to help you and you weren't listening? or did you feel there wasn't enough support for you at that time?
Yeah, no. So my dad, my old mate, he's not my best mate to be fair. Massive like hero of mine.
Shout out to Tim.
Shout out to Timmy. Yeah, he is like massive hero. But he, my parents divorced quite late. I think I was like 16 doing my GCSEs, year 11.
Yeah.
And it was a massive trigger point for me. I look back at it now, and I went off on a. I think that's when I started on the path, to be honest, of destructiveness. And but Dad, yeah, massive role model. But there was, I wasn't always with him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was sort of, I wouldn't always listen. But my dad was there, and he always did his best. But fundamentally, I wouldn't listen.
Yeah. Wow. What 16-year-old does?
So
They all think they know best.
Still am, to be honest, to a degree, headstrong. But I didn't listen to him. He tried.
Yeah.
He did try.
Let's talk about the business a little bit then. So you were plumbing. Was you at British Gas?
Yeah. So I used to work for British Gas. Did my apprenticeship there, and that's when I lost my license.
Yeah.
For drink driving, and fundamentally got sacked. And then I set up with Sean, my business partner. Shout out Sean. He was already set up working, self-employed, and he was like, "Look, come with me for a bit. I'll pick you up, drop you off. Just come and sort of work with me." And it was just about getting some money in and paying the bills,
Where was you living at the time?
I was back at my dad's.
So you was living with your dad.
Yeah.
You lost your license.
Yeah.
It's tough. How old was you?
I was 29, 28.
Right, okay.
29. It was
really?
the second time I'd lost my license.
Right, okay.
I've actually lost it twice, which I'm not proud to say, but it's better to be real about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and then I started working with Sean, and then, a lot of graft and just opportunities started presenting themselves.
So what made that initial partnership? What made you think, right, let's do it. Let's get the business going. Let's start a business.
To be honest with you, I think it helped the fact that Sean had his eldest, Nico, quite young really, and he had a little boy basically.
Okay.
So Sean had more responsibility than me. Okay. He was driven. He was a dad, good dad. He had to earn the money.
Yeah.
Whereas I was still a little bit in a teenager's mindset.
Yeah.
Of just get the money, spend it, you know, and working. That rubbed off on me. Is working with him.
Okay.
As a positive,
Yeah. You told him that?
I don't think I have. No. Don't really have those chats.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
It's nice to tell people when they've done something good.
Yeah.
When they've done something that's inspired you, tell them.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm really proud of you. You made me change my attitude. You made me buck my ideas up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm just saying, mate. It's just.
I'll see him, mate. I'll tell him.
Now you imagine if it was flipped, right?
Yeah.
And he said the same thing to you. Like, Jordan, you really inspired me with your work ethic. I want to thank you, mate. You got me on a straight and narrow. How would that make you feel?
Yeah, it'd be obviously
you feel
nice,
good,
isn't it? Pride, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That's how it starts, mate. It's just little, like men don't. We don't like giving compliments.
Yeah.
We give compliments in different ways. Like we insult each other. That's how we give compliments, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, look at fucking Billy Big Bollocks, like doing well for himself. Like, yo.
Yeah, no, I know.
Well, I suppose you're, mate, I'm really proud of you doing really well.
Yeah.
Because it's like, makes you feel awkward inside.
Yeah, it does.
Like, mate, fuck off. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah. Right, so all good. So he's obviously got responsibilities. Got you on a straight and narrow. So business is picking up.
Yeah, it wasn't probably as straightforward as that. I'd say I was on the path to getting on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite there.
Not straight, but, you're straightening up.
Yeah, straightening up. And then I think it was maybe a couple of years in when we realised that, right, we've actually got an opportunity here to sort of, better ourselves and just and go from there. And I think we took on our first member of staff, like an apprentice. And then obviously I got my license back eventually, and we were then in separate vans, and yeah, going from there. But there was a history along. It wasn't as straightforward as just that. Like, a lot of people have helped us.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of people have helped us along
of
the way.
course.
Um,
Everyone
but
needs a
yeah.
little bit of extra help.
But that was the start in the answer to your question. Well, that was the start of it.
That's the start. And now,
Yeah.
now look what you're doing now. How many staff you got on now?
I don't know the exact number, if I'm honest.
Don't count them just in case you miss someone off.
I wouldn't
So
know.
we've got John, Brad, Tony.
It's probably between 25 and 35
Oh, wow.
with our subbies as well.
Yeah. So I've seen that you're quite keen on with the apprenticeship scheme. Do you have a lot of apprenticeships on, or?
Well, I am, but I don't want to get into politics too much. But Mr. Starmer's making it very hard for businesses.
Do you mean with the
of all
national
sizes.
insurance?
It's the wages, and there's a few things attributed around it that are making it harder for business owners, no matter what sort of size, whether you're a one-man band or whatever. It's making it very hard, which is a knock-on effect then for youngsters coming in.
Yeah, I think a lot of the youngsters now, they don't understand like having a trade for life. You can get work everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Travel as well.
Travel everywhere, up and down the country, around the world. But like plumbing's plumbing, isn't it? Electrician, like
absolutely.
I think. Are you? Do you know? That's a question actually. Are you finding, in your experience in the last, say, 5 years, a lot more girls coming through? A lot more women are taking on these trades? Because you never really saw it, did you, back in the day?
So I can't comment personally. I've not seen it as in for plumbing and heating person through JBS. But I use I'm quite like an active user on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It's a really good tool.
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn.
It's been really good for us. And I see on there that there's a lot of women, which is great coming into the industry. Sort of British Gas employ quite a few.
Yeah.
On like your service and your breakdown, and I definitely do see it. Like I said, not experienced it personally with us.
Yeah.
But I am seeing it on the wider scale through LinkedIn throughout the country.
Would you say it was a case of men not wanting women in construction, or women not wanting to come into construction?
That's a good question.
Do you know what I mean? Because I've always thought like it's never really like if you go on site, you might see the odd female paint decorator.
Mm-hmm.
Very rare that you saw any other trade with females in it.
That you see a lot of the we work and do a lot of new builds.
Yeah.
A lot of the cleaning teams are female.
Yeah.
But there's like a stigma around it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like it's a tough one because it depends on what you're doing. It's a physically demanding job.
Yeah.
Especially with what we do.
Yeah.
It's a very my guys work on price, so they get paid for what they do.
Yeah.
Which basically means every morning they've got to be on it.
Yeah.
It's physically, demanding. I don't know if that's, I'm not saying anything negative about females that way, but
no,
it's hard graft, mate.
It is.
And if you've got to lug boilers around and radiators and baths and whatnot, it is hard to do. But it's a tough one.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Like I think I'm all for it, and I think if you imagine there's a pool, right, of 100 males, right, and that's the only pool you can pick from. Maybe 20 out of that 100 is going to make it.
Yeah.
Now, if you put 100 males and 100 females, you're widening that chance of having skilled labour, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now, I'm the same especially with roofing. Like roofing's hard. Like you're carrying a lot of heavy weight constantly all day.
Absolutely,
tiles, up and down ladders, whatever, right? So I don't necessarily think it's the skill issue, because women are just as capable as men in doing everything. But I think with construction, it does boil down to a lot of the physical, and a lot of women that come into it struggle with the physical side of it. Yeah. Not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them do. Not to say that a lot of the lads don't either, because they're like, this is too hard for me.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we get that. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're just as bad, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I think, if we can widen that skilled labour net, if that makes sense, then I'm all for it. I think you'll see more of it.
They've definitely got the skill set. Like you said, it's just physically demanding. Construction is
Yeah.
absolutely.
So the company's going well. Loads of staff's on. You're branching out. Do you predominantly Gloucester, or are you up and down the country, or?
So we our new builds we try and keep local to Gloucester,
Yeah.
and then our general works is fairly local to Gloucester. But then our mechanical side's all over the country.
Yeah.
Do a lot of work sort of like around London way, South Coast,
Yeah.
Bournemouth, Hastings, Poole.
Is that where all the work is
at
at the moment?
We do a lot of repeat business for a client that tends to operate in like that sort of area.
So you got to go away once you go.
Yeah, but yeah, it's all over really.
Yeah. So how do you find? So obviously it's busy, right? So how are you finding the balance between your work life, your personal life? How are you finding that?
What, as in right now, or
as in right now? You've done the hard work. You've got to where you are. So how are you finding that balance?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot going on in my life at the minute.
Yeah.
Which is hard, but that's why I'm lucky that we've got a really good supportive team behind us.
Yeah.
Like really good. We've got great team of ladies in the office, Cherie, Renee, and Suzanne. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. I'm not going to repeat them.
They're great. And obviously I've got a really supportive business partner. Which,
yeah.
You know, very supportive.
Yeah.
Very lucky. But yeah, it can be hard, but I think fundamentally, like I said, we've got a good team behind us.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be involved day to day.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have to sort of get in the office and say, right, go here, can you do this? How have we got on, you know?
Yeah.
It's more I operate behind the scenes, overseeing it with a great team.
Yeah.
So that's helped. But there's been times when it's been obviously hard, stressful.
Yeah.
It's not always been like that.
Yeah. So you obviously said you're going through a bit of it. So we're getting to obviously what you go through, but would you say it's affecting your work life, or would you say that because of the great team you have there, you're able to focus on yourself at the moment?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough and fortunate enough to have the team that we've got and business partner that I've got that are enabling me to concentrate on the positives.
Yeah.
Like training and you know doing a lot of trying to do better things and I've been spending a bit of time in the sunshine as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Been going to Dubai
That's medicine,
quite
mate.
a bit. But yeah, having the team is helping me.
I know you said like before we had this chat, you go through it. Do you want to talk a bit about that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. Let's start about the good times and then we'll talk about how it's turned.
So we're going through a divorce at the moment. It's a mess. I'd say it's very messy.
Yeah.
And I've got a little boy who is coming up 11 months. That I hadn't seen for nearly 4 months.
Wow.
And then I had 2 really short interactions, and then it's been stopped, taken from me again.
Yeah.
I'm living outside the family home. I have been since December last year in an Airbnb.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard. It's been hard, mate. Very hard.
Hard as in because of the messiness, or I mean, obviously not being able to see your son is that's going to be hurting. But would you say it's because you can't get anything sort of locked down?
Yeah, I think there's a number of things really. Obviously, not seeing my son, like, massive. And then I think the nastiness that's come from it all.
Okay.
From obviously, there's a period of time where things weren't like that, and then I'm just shocked at how it's gone so far left.
Yeah, I get that a lot. People, they always say like, we loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
How are we treating each other like this now? We loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it always gets to a point where it's like point scoring, and you get so far into it, not one of you can just stop and go, actually, what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The best advice my dad gave me with it all was, you've got to stay professional and calm.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, and it's hard.
Oh, mate, they'll use it.
You've lost.
They'll use it against you.
As soon as you you sort of do that. You've lost. So I've sort of put my business head on, so to speak,
Yeah.
and just trying to stay. The storm will pass, as they say.
Yeah.
But yes, it's not easy, mate.
No, I don't envy it at all, mate. I'm lucky. I haven't had to deal with that, but I do get it.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with Spencer's mother like? Is that quite good now?
It's been rocky over the years, but to give
place?
her a due, she never used Spencer as a tool between us. Never. I've always been able to see him. We've
That's
had our
brilliant.
differences, but we
But they're your differences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
nothing to do with the baby.
It's not been affected with Spencer, and to be honest, over the past few months, we've probably found a mutual respect.
Yeah.
And how we communicate and talk to each other.
Yeah.
And long may that continue. To be honest.
That's good.
Spencer's seeing the benefits from that.
I was going to say that it's the child that gets the benefit from it.
Yeah.
I'm not. Don't have to be like going to each other's parties and
no,
but just you're right.
How are you?
Spencer's
You
been
okay?
good. See you next week. Or
she recently got engaged. I texted
that's
say like,
cool.
Congratulations to you both.
See, that's something that's good.
So yeah, it's been tough, mate. It's been tough.
I don't envy it, mate. That break me. I think every man.
Mate, it's been hard. I've had some real bad moments. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's talk about you shutting yourself away. Yeah. Right. I'll ask you two things. First things, what are you hoping to gain by that?
I think that's a good question. I don't know. It's like a safe place, isn't it? I'm not out anywhere. I can't be said to have been doing something that I haven't, because that's been a big factor in this whole thing. Saying things that haven't happened. Not being a burden on other people. Not like, you've had a good day and then I come round and I'm like, oh, listen to this. I don't want to bring people down. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
like
so many people say the same thing. I don't want to be a
burden on people. So I've just sort of, don't get me wrong, I don't mind shutting myself away, Shane. Like I'm quite I've been like that for years. I enjoy my own company.
Let's say you want a bit of alone time, you want to do some reading, or you want to play on the computer or whatever, right? That's one thing, because you're relaxing. Like, I need some time to relax. But when you're shutting yourself away because you're worried about being a burden, you see how damaging that is, right? Because you're not relaxing when you're on your own. Because all you're doing is wasting energy trying to protect yourself. You shouldn't be trying to protect yourself. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing spending time to relax, but when you're hiding, that's where the issue is. Because you shouldn't be hiding. I know I like my own space. Sometimes it's nice to just, I don't want to talk to people. I just want to just chill out. Excuse me. But when you're like, oh, I don't want to go out because if I start talking to people, I'm going to make their day bad. When you say about burdening people, you're never a burden. You're never a burden.
I think that part of it as well is I've not felt like socialising.
Yeah.
Like I'm quite an open character.
Yeah.
I can't be fake. If I'm happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm angry, I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
Like people that know me well would say that. And I've not felt like going out and socialising, because I feel that if I'm out and I'm laughing and joking, straight away I'm like, in my head, go back to my situation.
Yeah.
And it's it brings you back down to earth really quickly. So I've just not felt like socialising. That's why I've been sort of taking myself away, and I've been spending a lot of time in Dubai.
On your own?
Yeah, I've been going. I took Spencer for Easter, but I've been going over on my own. I'm going over next week for a month just on my own.
Yeah.
I'll work as well, but just.
So what do you do all day?
Well, I recently started training, so that's positive. Walking, training.
So there's going to be a lot of solitude then.
There will be.
Will there people you see and visit? Or?
Yeah, I've got so a good friend of mine. It's become really close, to be fair. He's from Gloucester, a lad called Jordan. Shout out, Jord.
Shout out Jordan.
Yeah, it is Jordan.
Double J, baby.
He's out there, so I see Jordan a lot. But yeah, mate, I'd like my own company. I'm not just gonna be sat in a room on my own. I'll be doing positive things. I'm not going out there to like get drunk and stuff like that.
Because it's too damn expensive.
The sun, the sunshine's good for you, mate. It's good for the soul.
Yeah, no, I get it, mate. But I think what I'm trying to say is, I get what you're saying, but the problems are still there. And when you don't want to go out because you're already counting down the minutes for you to be like, oh, my issues are going to be down. I'm feeling down. You're depriving yourself of humanity for a start, because you're not humans are not solitary creatures. We need to be around people. Yeah. You, by shutting yourself away, it sounds a bit almost, it's depression. Because you probably feel numb. You probably can't, when you feel joy, you go straight to guilt.
Exactly that.
So you're like, I feel really happy. I shouldn't be happy. My life's shit right now.
That's all the time. I could post a picture on Instagram, for example, of like a good time, and then I'll delete it because I'm like, I shouldn't be having a good time.
You don't feel you deserve to have a good time?
That's a good question. I don't feel that I should be but I don't know, it's a tough one to answer. It's a tough one. Obviously my situation and stuff, it's just probably not. No, I probably don't feel I should be having a good time.
Alright, let me put it another way then. Do you feel you deserve to be happy?
Yes, everyone does.
Right, so take that. Yeah. You deserve to be happy, but you're not doing anything to make yourself happy. So how do you deserve to be happy if you're not doing the things that make you happy?
Yeah, I'm doing some things, like small, little things, like started training and stuff, and trying to channel it positively. So I am doing some things, but then also on the flip side, a lot of I know a lot of people, but I've got a very small circle of friends, right? Very small. Got mates like you probably have, and but I've got a small circle that really know me. And alcohol,
that's what you need sometimes, mate.
Alcohol plays a part in. It's something I've been trying to avoid, not completely, but abusing it.
Yeah,
and a lot of my friends, for them to socialise because they're better with it, involves alcohol.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, I'm not the best with it after. If I have too much, I have a real down.
It's one of those because you keep drinking because you're feeling good.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll have another, yeah. And then it hits you. You're like, fuck, why did I have that extra pint? Why did I have that extra bottle of wine?
Yeah. But it's just.
But don't put if you feel being in those situations is bad for you, then by all means protect yourself. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you feel, right, if I go out, they're going to get on the piss. I'm going to feel sad next morning. That's, believe it or not, that's a great trait that you can recognize that if you do it, you're going to feel this way. A lot of people just do it and they're like, they know they're going to feel that way, but they're like, I don't give a shit. I'll deal with that tomorrow. But you're already looking, going, now, if I do that, I'm going to feel this way.
Yeah, I've had to now. I've had to. That's why I've sort of just gone like that, Definitely.
Yeah. Mate, it's not an overnight thing, I think. Let's just say, for example, then, this situation with the battery, right, gets resolved. And you get your visitation, you get your time. Then what? Because then you'll have, in theory, you'll have no excuse to be shutting yourself away, to be feeling this way.
I don't think I would, to be honest, as much.
Yeah?
I think the not seeing my son is probably the biggest factor, to be honest with you. Because the divorce, and there's things involved in it, properties and stuff. Right? So it's not, I'm in an Airbnb at the minute. Yeah. I have been for months. I can deal with that. I can look at that separately.
Yeah.
But it's not seeing my son that is what's killing me.
Yeah.
Absolutely killing me. If that was to if I was seeing him, then I don't think I'd be shutting myself away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How do the courts put like a timeline on this? Is this like, do you know what I mean? Like I don't know how it works, mate. So I'm assuming there has to be a decision at some point.
So with divorce, with like child arrangements and divorce, everything's treated separately. So
Yeah,
it's not like you go to court
yeah,
and then you talk about everything.
because it's family
So you'll have
court.
financials.
Yeah,
You can have a maintenance hearing,
yeah,
and then you could have child arrangements. It's all separate,
yeah, yeah,
which also means 3 lots of money.
yeah.
You know,
Free lots of stress.
like
Trying to prepare for each thing separately.
yeah. So yeah, it's all separate. So there isn't really a time frame on it.
Okay.
It's quite a bit of a rigmarole that you've got to go through. There are people out there that can help you with it.
Yeah.
You haven't got to use a solicitor by any means, but it's hard. I know there's a lot of other dads going through it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I know that, but you just got to stay calm. It's my best advice.
Do you know what? It's funny, isn't it? Because when you say it like that, they've got to stay calm. It's like, yeah, obviously you got to stay calm, but you're dealing with a little human being, like emotions, and do you know what I mean? Like there's nothing you can put on paper to say that kid needs to have this. Do you know what I mean? It's you got to look at it from a natural point of view. A child needs their parents.
Absolutely.
Especially if the parents want to be in their lives.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of parents who not interested.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But when you, let's say from a judge point of view, and he sees mum wants a baby, dad wants a baby, you've got to do what's right for the baby, ain't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for you, if you can, just be a little bit more active. You don't, when you go out, mate, you don't have to go out on the piss.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Just visiting friends for coffee or whatever. Just don't shut yourself away, mate.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
Have you alone time by all means, but don't shut yourself away because that's the way you're feeling right now. Your brain is going to be telling you some crazy ass shit, and you're going to be believing it.
Yeah.
And your brain, when you're feeling this way, is the worst thing because it lies to us all the time. It would be telling you you're not wanted, no one likes you, and it just tells you all these negative things because it's trying to protect you from it. So it tries to keep you, and it's working because you're shutting yourself away.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I know, obviously, and quite a few people who've come in and said the same thing. Have loads of mates, very small friend circle.
Oh, very small.
Do you think? Let's talk about that a little bit. So because for me, I think friends are quite important. With not just our mental health, but the way we live, like with your families and stuff like that. Would you say since you tell me, when did you start noticing that people weren't really your friends and they were just like hangers on? Because we had this discussion with Andy. So like there's a lot of people he knows, and then he's like, they don't bother with me, they don't ring me, they don't contact me unless they want something. Do you find that a lot?
Yeah, I have recently. I find it with family as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think it's probably, if I look back, it's probably always been there. But I think as you get older and a little bit more, I think your tolerance for bullshit goes.
Yeah.
As you sort of get older and you get a little bit more, don't want to be too negative on it, but I definitely have noticed it over the years. I've noticed it. I don't want to come across like negative.
No, I think
like a hater on it.
We get cynical. We get cynical as we get older because you start questioning, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't spoke to you in about 2 months and now you're ringing me up. Because you straight away you go, oh, they want something.
Yeah, we get that a lot. I say we, Sean probably does as well to a degree.
Yeah.
With things like that, we do get it. But I don't know, maybe it's one of those, isn't it? It's one of them. But my circle's just, my dad always said to me, I can remember him saying when I was younger, if you can count your friends on one hand, you're lucky.
Yeah.
And I always think,
yeah, it's a weird thing to say, isn't it?
Shut up, Dad, what are you on about?
Yeah, I got loads of mates.
You used to always say things to me, but they resonate as you get older, and then you're like, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? So
can you imagine?
Man.
Can you imagine if you had listened and I don't just mean you, I mean
Yeah.
every person, right?
Yeah.
So when your dad or mum said to me, like,
Right.
this is this, at that age, you took it on board straight away.
Biggest thing.
Do
My
you know what
dad,
I mean?
when I started struggling with my knee, because I was like a fit kid
Yeah.
up until around 19, 20. And then he said, you're gonna have to start keeping yourself fit because I couldn't run.
Yeah.
I physically can't run.
Yeah.
Because it was getting worse. You got to, don't put weight on. And I didn't listen to him. Put
Yeah.
weight on. Didn't maintain myself at all. I should have listened to him.
Yeah.
Because it's hard now.
It's hard to get it off, isn't it?
It is, mate. It is. It's hard to get it off. That's one of the biggest things I should have listened to.
Mate, roofing kept me fit, man. You know, it kept me relatively fit.
That's graft, isn't it?
It's graft.
Yeah.
As soon as I sort of stopped, like last year, I noticed I started getting. Like, I've always had a bit of a apology, like in my 30s, but like I've never been interested in like gym because my work alone was hard work.
That's a gym session, isn't it?
So then I was just like sat there. I was sat there in the mirror like 3 months ago. I just got out of the shower and I sat in his bed, sort of like there, and I was just like, fuck. I was like, I've got to do something, man. I've got to do something. Because I used to love walking.
Yeah.
Like, just go for walks.
I started doing it.
Like simple enough, slow, steady, just walk.
I've started doing it, and it's been really good for me because I can't run. I can't physically run.
Yeah.
You know, my knee just blows. But I've started walking and just putting some music on, and it's so good for your head.
Yeah. Get the podcast on, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what
Half
I'm
a
doing.
Men Talk podcast.
That's what I was doing. Yeah. Subscribe, like.
Subscribe and like, baby.
But yeah, no, I've started doing that, and I think that's been massive. Because I'm not here to sort of tell anyone what you should do.
Yeah.
I can only say what's been working for me.
Yeah.
And I'm going for a walk, putting music on, even music in the morning. If I wake up and I can be miserable in the morning.
Not a morning person.
No. I need a coffee to get the cogs going. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before I have any social interaction with people.
Yeah.
But,
Jordan, fuck off. I have my coffee. Yeah.
So music, mate, that can change. Game changer.
What's your go-to playlist in the morning?
Mate, probably Fleetwood Mac everywhere.
Is it?
If you put that on and you're still in a mood,
Mac everywhere. I'll have a look at that.
Then yeah, it's bad times. That one works. Bit of UB40.
Yeah. I used to have a little playlist. Like I walked down to them. Let's go to the bottom of the Rams. It's a mile there and back. 2 miles.
That's
right?
why
So I
I'm
should do
living.
that.
I'm living.
You don't know, eh?
Yeah.
I'm literally up, down, 2 miles, back. First song that normally comes on when I play is Casey and Sunshine. Boogie Shoes. And I just walk down the road, I'm like, yo, I'm ready to go. Like it's funny, isn't it? And the little triggers.
Hey, music's good for the soul, honestly.
Do you know what? That's a good thing as well. One of the questions I've asked a lot of people come in is like, do you know, like when you're feeling a certain way and like a trigger can happen and it just set you off, like, oh, I'm in a bad mood, right? So we call them trigger downs. Yeah. So there's loads of trigger downs, but I feel as people we don't do enough of trigger ups. So you know that song is going to make you feel good.
Yeah.
So you know, I'll put it on. You know, if you watch Liverpool, you're going to feel good. I know all the time, but you know, a lot of the time.
Most of the time,
you're going to feel good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or that's just, I don't know what else you like enjoying doing. But like for me, like if I can't play golf at the moment because my shoulder, I'm trying to rebuild it. But I like playing golf. So I go play golf. Put the music on. I like playing the computer a little bit. It's doing enough of the things we enjoy. We
100%.
don't do enough of the things we enjoy, do we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're so worried about the trigger downs.
Yeah.
We're so, like you said about being out social, and then you know, I'm going to start feeling guilty. So it's a trigger down.
Yeah.
But that's a trigger up also because you like being out, but you know at some point that's not going to last. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, yeah. What would you say with that? What we just said. What would you say is a lot of your trigger ups?
Music, absolutely.
Number one music.
Apart from my eldest Spencer being around me, and he brings out the best in me. Music. 100%. 100% music, mate.
Go for a drive, get the music on.
Just music. Just going for a walk. Music, honestly.
Yeah.
Music
changes your mood, doesn't it? It's mad how music can change your mood.
Massively. Just get it on is my advice. If you're in a mood, just put a tune on. Take your mind away. Some people like watching films and transporting yourself away into the movie, but for me, it's music, mate. music always is
Yeah.
something I always. Another trigger up for me personally. So I went to Catholic school all my life, like
Yeah.
St. Peter's.
Yeah.
Irish nan, mate. Jamaican granddad. Like religion was a big part of my upbringing, and it was something that I faded away from, but I found myself coming back.
Yeah.
To be honest, that's been helping.
Do you know what? That's mad you say that. There's quite a few. Andy said the same thing. Like, he goes to church. Like, as you know, he lost his parents.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and just speaks to Dad.
Yeah.
Like, and he finds some really good solace in it.
Yeah.
Are you going to the church, or when you say you're getting back into it, sort of what are you doing?
I'm not. I haven't been going. Not to say that I won't, but I've found myself listening to more and more sort of Bible stories and Psalms and things that I can relate to.
Yeah.
I just had one tattooed on me actually, which is important to me. But yeah, so I'm not like, I'm not as a Bible basher as they say, and each to their own. But if you find sort of peace and solace from something, as long as it's peaceful, any religion, but peace, then who's anybody to knock it, And I do find peace and solace in a lot of what the Bible says.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's been around a long time, so
yeah,
it's doing something right, isn't it? Whatever religion you follow.
Yeah, exactly that. I think whatever religion you do follow, as long as it's peaceful, and it promotes you to be a better person, then I think
100% that.
No, exactly that, and I find that over the past couple of months is definitely helping me for sure.
Yeah,
it's something that I'll continue with.
Teaching you patience.
Yeah, patience, calmness. I think those closest to me would say they've seen a big change.
Yeah.
In my behaviour, persona. I feel a lot more. As much as what's going on, I feel quite cool and calm.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I think a big part of that has been sort of indulging in my faith.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Would you say before all this then, would you say you had a victim mentality? Was it why me? Or do you understand that your actions have led you to where you are today?
From a younger self?
From you now?
Yeah.
Back from today, did you at any point have a victim mentality and think, why me? Like you said, you talked about the cool and peace that you're feeling now. Was there a lot of anger before, like as if everyone's trying to shaft you? Why are you treating me like this?
Yeah, I think.
Does that make sense? Like, was there that attitude before and that you feel different now?
The industry that we're in, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows with business. Everyone portrays it. Some people, not everyone, but some people portray it as we earn loads of money, everything's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not. That's not the case. Like the stress from it, and the construction industry is quite a confrontational industry.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's a confrontational industry, and sometimes I'd always, with work, some of the people that we used to work for and different things, it was every day was a battle.
Yeah.
And I found myself just being always being short and rude at times.
Yeah.
And quite combative with things. And I think where we've sort of changed some of the clients that we work for, and me sort of like delving back into my faith and what I believe in, that's helped.
Yeah.
That's helped. Definitely.
Yeah. That's a journey in itself.
Yeah, it's definitely helped.
So if you think about it, what you've done is you've corrected your path, because you could probably see the path you were going down, and you're like, I don't want to be that person. So you've changed your clientele.
Yeah.
You're reenacting with your faith.
Yeah. Had to. Better late than never, though.
So with all this,
yeah,
mate, all the things that you're saying that you're doing, they're great things. You're doing great things. But you still don't feel that way, do you? You're still feeling...
Just feel lost about my boy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I should be doing great things and enjoying them with my children.
Yeah. Do you feel it's the time that you feel you're losing?
Absolutely.
It's going to get older and you're going to miss those early years?
he's crawling. I didn't see him crawl
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, cut his cord. I was there, and then
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But
That's hard. You know, when you're there, and then you're not.
this is what I mean. It's what I mean. Like with saying doing positive things, you go up, and then I think I'm not seeing my son, and I come straight back down.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to describe it. But I think if anyone that watching this, especially any dads that are going through it, have just got to do their best to stay calm.
Yeah.
Because you will be poked, you will be prodded.
Yeah.
And
Tested, trying to get reaction.
You've got to stay calm. That's the biggest advice I can give.
But who knows, in a year's time, we could be having a whole different conversation.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. That's the years ago, I probably wouldn't have the patience to see that. But I think with age comes a bit more knowledge, so they say.
You learn.
And I can sort of see that the storm will pass, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not, I mean, we're talking about everything, but divorce, it's hard.
Yeah.
Especially when somebody's painting you out to have done things that you haven't done. You know, it's hard.
Does that upset you that that person has got that image out of you to people? And do you find that you're more hurt because you know it's not true, but people believe, or you're not worried about what people believe? Because me personally, if that message was out, and this is just me, obviously, I'd be like, oh, I'm not that. Why do you believe this person?
It does.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's hard, isn't it?
I think those people that say they don't care what people think, if they genuinely mean it, then I was like, fair, kudos to you. I do, personally.
Yeah.
I would care. That's partly why, like, I was, when it was all going on, I didn't want to go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Like, I was so embarrassed.
Have you found any friendships been a little bit tentative since the split from the ex? Did you have many mutual friends?
No, not massively. To be honest, no, we didn't. But I mean, that's probably. I look back at it, and we were very just isolated, and so yeah. Not. I don't want to say no, not massively. Okay. I move in a very small circle.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I've got a few people that I would trust. Like, I'm very. You know, you're quite a sociable guy. I'm quite.
I am. I am and I ain't. I don't like large crowds. I know who my friends are, and I know who they are.
Yeah.
I will talk to anyone. And I think what a lot of people, and I'm blowing smoke up my ass, I think what a lot of people like about me is I am genuine. What you see is what you get with me.
For sure.
I'm not two different personas.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of men have to be 1, 2, 3, 4 different people. They have to be different at home. They have to be different at work. They have to be different around their friends. They have to be different around their family.
Yeah.
Now, when you put it like that, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? That's how much
energy. I can
energy.
relate to it though.
But
I get it.
that's just the way as society. That's the way that we feel like we have to be. We have to be these different. Why can't we just be ourselves?
It's getting better. Things like what you're doing with this, just having a chat, because there'll be people like watching it, and they resonate with it. People don't, because some people don't want to talk to their missus. No. Some people don't want to confide in their friends.
Yeah.
Sometimes doing it to a stranger. Like I've been talking to my solicitor a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot.
No wonder he's charging you so much.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, George.
Nah, she's looking after me to a degree, but I talk to her a lot, and yeah, I mean, the advocate of speaking. Yeah. You got to talk,
mate. If you don't, and this is what I mean, when you're on your own, who are you talking to? You're talking to yourself.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And your brain is the biggest liar. It will tell you all sorts of shit to protect you, to keep you in the house, to keep you from making friends, to keep you from making new relationships. Yeah. It will tell you, oh, just stay in. If you stay in, you can't do no harm. But it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Your brain's the most dangerous, and especially because of the way you're feeling and the stress that you're under.
Yeah.
You are trying to seclude yourself so you don't make anything worse. But you're just doubting yourself then. You're just saying, like, okay, I was an asshole in my younger years. Does that mean I'm going to be an asshole going forward? Look at all the steps you're making.
Yeah, no, mate. I've done I've changed a lot of things. I know I have, but I had to. It wasn't how I was brought up, how I sort of was behaving.
Yeah. Do you want to do it for you, or do you want to do it to be a better father, to be a better man for your kids?
I mean, both. Obviously, children first and foremost come first, don't they?
Yeah.
But both, just for them and for me.
Do you, let me just touch on that, because a lot of people say this. Do you believe kids come first, or do you believe that you should come first, so that you are a better person for your kids?
That's a good point. I think, yeah, when you put it like that, I think to be the best parent you can be, you've obviously got to make sure that you're doing the right things and in the right place.
Yeah.
When you put it like that, yeah. So you need to make sure that you're making the right choices to be the best parent that you can be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All goes well. You have visitation. You have custody as well. So with split custody, you get to see the baby. Mrs. sees the baby. Now I'm trying to look at it from a point of it's got to be beneficial for one, the baby, two for you, and two for her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if there's a stable relationship going on there,
yeah.
Now you must want that. She must want that. Like none of you can be happy dragging this through the courts. Have you had that conversation with her?
No, I can't. We tried to mediate. It's just not there, mate. It's
Is it just pure anger at the moment?
Not from my part. It's financially led.
Okay.
It's everything that's going on is financially led.
Yeah.
And
she just wants to be supported?
And if she gets it, then things might change. But
okay,
it's typical case of children being used.
Yeah,
I appreciate you getting one side of me talking about it, but
no. I'm trying to look at it from that. I know. I mean, look, like if we sat with her now, she would say probably something different. She'd be like, "Oh, well, he don't do this, they don't do that, la la la." I get it. Well, I get it. There's anger there. I think that's the issue. There's a lot of anger there.
100%. But like you said earlier, two people can have your differences.
Of course.
Right? But when you've got children, they shouldn't be...
No.
It shouldn't be a detriment to them.
No, I agree. I think if you take the child away from it, let's say take the child out of the equation, things get dealt with quickly. They're like, you have that, you have this, I'll have this, you'll live. Right, all right, shake hands, off you go. You live your life, I live my life.
Yeah.
Now, what difference does it make that there's a child involved? Because it's still the same situation of you go that way, I'll go this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's mad, but it's pure, at the moment, it sounds like it's just pure anger.
Yeah.
That is is stopping this from coming to a conclusion. And rightly so, or not, I don't know. But the emotion, and this is where I feel courts don't necessarily take into factor of emotion of the parents, because you're not thinking straight at all times, because you're just angry with the other person, or you're thinking, I want to do them over. They've done me over. I want to do them over. So it's tit for tat, and emotion comes into play, and there's no winner. There's no winner.
It's got to stay. I know I keep saying it, but it's more so for obviously people watching this. You've got to stay calm. You just have to stay calm. You really do. It's hard, but you just have to stay calm.
Mate, keep doing it. Keep fighting it the legal way. Keep doing the proper avenues.
Yeah.
But I think whilst all that's happening, keep on concentrating on yourself, because you're obviously feeling it.
Yeah.
I mean, like we talk about music. When's the last time you put a bit like sad song on and had a good cry in the car?
Oh, mate.
Do you know what I mean? When you're driving, I don't want to tell you, man. I don't even mean to. I just start crying.
Probably a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Like I'm sat here now today. Today's a good day.
Yeah.
Today's a good day.
Yeah.
Got Spencer this weekend. Going to watch Gloucester this afternoon.
Yeah.
Taking my old man. Enjoying the fruits of our labour. Today's a good day.
Yeah.
Monday might not be.
But that's okay. That's okay. You're allowed to have a bad day. Do you recognise a bad day and go, it's just a bad day today?
I do.
Or do you dwell on it?
No, I do. And what I do better now, and what I hope people would try and take from this, is I won't let that bad day escalate.
Yes.
Because it used to escalate for me, and it would turn to destructiveness, self-destruct, or whatever. Whereas now, a bad day is just a bad day.
Yeah.
And a good night's sleep changes a lot of things. No, I get it. I think one of the hardest things for me is being an MD at a business is when you step through that door, you've got to be a leader.
Yeah.
And then there's days I don't feel like being a leader.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some days you want to be led.
100%. There's many times I've been sat in that office and I've had a cry. And you can, from the outside looking in, people think we've got it all. But money doesn't make you happy.
No.
It can give you options.
Yeah. It's better to cry in a Bentley than it is a Ford.
It doesn't make you happy. I honestly, testament for that.
Mate, more problems, isn't it?
It can give you options, but yeah, there's days where I don't feel like being a leader.
A lot of people don't see the progression though, mate. That's the problem. Like a lot of people just see the tip. They don't see the hard work and the sacrifice and the stress and the pressure. They don't see that. But when you're saying that, I don't feel like being a leader. What does leadership mean to you? As in, if you said the word leadership, what does that portray in your mind?
Leadership for me is fundamentally leading by example.
Right.
And that's doing the right things, behaving, acting correctly.
Yeah.
You know, not being up and down with your emotions, which I can be, getting better with it.
Yeah.
It's for leading by example and making the people, and also supporting the people around you. It's not, leadership isn't about telling someone what to do.
Yeah.
Go and do. It's about,
yeah.
Have you got everything you need?
Yeah.
To do that? Okay. And then letting them know it's all right to tell someone when they've done something wrong or if it's not very good. Tell them when it's good.
Yeah.
Praise them.
But do you remember when I said to you at the start, like Sean, have you ever told him how?
No, I haven't. No.
So do you see what I'm saying?
He's been a massive.
Don't sit there and say, "Oh, being able to do it," but you need to be able to do it yourself, and let other people know how they've inspired you.
Yeah, mate. Sean's been massive for me. Massive.
Tell him.
Yeah, massive. I don't want to get upset about nothing, but it's
Mate, that's a good emotion because you recognise what Sean has done for you, and the impact he's had in your growth. Like that's mate. That's they always say like, he's such a girl of emotion, so emotional. But that's pride. That's like my mate has helped me.
Yeah, no, yes, massively. I think we're like 2012. We started working together.
Yeah,
something like that.
Did you know Sean quite a lot beforehand? Or?
Yeah, we were mates before. Yeah, we were like mates, like socially.
Yeah,
you
played sport together, or
not really, no.
Do you remember the first time you met him?
God, it would have been years ago. It's probably at like the Pike and Musket or something in Tuffley,
Yeah.
It would have been down then.
What made you stay friends? Like, because, like, my best mate, he's very chalk and cheese to me.
Mm-hmm.
But we had the same humour.
Yeah.
But he's totally different to me. But it works.
We're not. I wouldn't say our relationships changed over the years. 100%. Just organically, it's kind of had to with going from sort of like working together, just like in the van, to like turning over like millions of pounds and like running a business. Our dynamic has changed, but the respect's never gone.
Yeah.
I think we've probably only had like one fallout that I can think of that I would remember.
Yeah, because you know each other's temperaments.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows when to leave you alone. You know when to leave him alone.
We know each other. Yeah, 100%, definitely. But yeah, he's been a big part of supported me through all this. Been very understanding. No worries with me going off to
Yeah.
to Dubai and
Yeah.
stuff, and
He knows you need it.
very supportive. And yeah, I'll always remember that. I'll always remember things.
He's what I like to call like an anchor,
Yeah,
like an anchor friend. Someone, when you need to steady the ship, you go to your anchor.
yeah, for sure.
I want people to realise that every single one of us has issues. We all have self-doubt. We all have times when we're feeling depressed and we're feeling anxious and we're feeling all these things, but we don't like showing it to people because we want. It's like they always say, like the Instagram life, and everyone posts their good things on Facebook or Instagram. They look at me living my best life. No one ever puts on there them crying or them upset because they've had a bad day at work or they can't see their kids. People don't see the real stress. Hence why I wanted to do this. I want people to come in and just talk. Because we don't talk to people, man.
No, 100%.
Men don't talk at the best of times. 100%. And that's why suicide rates are so high. Because men don't feel they have an outlet. I'm not saying I'm the answer for everything, but if I'm doing this and then someone else gets inspired to do it and then everyone starts talking and then you'll leave here now, you'll probably ring someone and be like, oh mate, I want you to know how great you've been and how inspiring you've been. Like, it's just, do you know what I mean? Breaking down that little stigma day by day.
It just made me think about, we had a member of staff going back a few years ago, Matt Skinner, his name was. He was from around here actually, lived in this area, lovely kid, real genuine, good sportsman, kept himself fit, good looking, like lovely kid.
Yeah.
But really struggled with his mental health, and he sadly took his life a few years ago now when he was working for us.
Yeah.
And it's just made me. I'll get flashes where I think of him and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always, when I think about him, I think we were still on the tools then. It's gone back a few years. I remember we were in London, me and him, and we had I think it was Sam Smith, "Money on My Mind."
Yeah.
You know that, like playing really loud.
Yeah.
And we were just like dancing in the van. I always think of that. I always thought I'd mention that because he deserves a mention,
mate. Just that moment. At the time, you probably didn't realise how poignant it was. You were just having a good time, but now that sticks in your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I first started this, and I mentioned earlier when I was going through people, it was the hardest sort of phone calls that I ever had to make because it was how easy people would talk and say, "Oh yeah, my brother killed himself." Oh, what? But, oh yeah, my uncle took his own life years ago. Oh yeah, my dad committed suicide. But it's how easy people would mention it like it was a normal conversation.
Yeah.
And that should never be a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then the more and more I got into it, and that's why last year I took on Sunflowers. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
So Sunflowers is a charity in Stroud. They cover the whole of Gloucestershire, and they're a suicide bereavement charity. So basically, they go in and they help families deal with it. And I had Rory in from Sunflowers a couple of months ago, and he's doing a wing walk.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did see the interview, yeah.
But there was something he said in there, and which really drove home to me as well. Like, it's one thing you losing a family member to suicide. During those periods of months, you're so consumed with grief. You're not getting shopping in. You're not paying the bills. They help with that. They go in and they help with your day to day. And absolutely amazing work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there was something that we was talking about. The suicide rates in Gloucester is in the top 5 in the country.
Wow.
And I'm like, I live in Gloucester.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? But then I start thinking, yeah, so took his own life. So took. I was about five people I know growing up, friends that have took their own life.
Yeah, I know a few.
I just,
yeah.
And I do you know, I'm not pretentious to think like, if they had just reached out and spoke to people, because that's one of the things people always say when they're left behind. Oh, why didn't he reach out? Or why didn't he ask for help? Or, like, do you know what I mean? And you do think about it, like, because I always used to have the notion of suicide was selfish.
Yeah.
Like, how could you do that, leaving the people behind? But then the more and more you look into it, you think the pain that people go through, and they're quiet. And this is what we mentioned earlier about one of the biggest stresses for men is not being able to see their children. So like not being see like family or financial, they've lost job or they're gonna lose the house or do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you think that stress alone, if people just talked more and there was more help, I don't know.
I think it's that saying,
Do you know what I mean?
that age-old saying of, never judge a man until you've walked a mile in his shoes. Or
Yeah.
something. I don't know if
Yeah.
I've got it quite
Yeah, no,
right.
that's very yeah.
And another one is, you never know what's going on in anyone's life. Anyone. You don't know. That's why, as I've learned through being an employer and managing people and characters, years ago I would probably be more negative to a negative reaction to something bad.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'll question, that's not quite his character. Everything all right? You okay?
Yeah.
You're not like someone changes something they're not like. You okay?
Yeah.
I'll take that stance more now. I think that's just come from being in like a management position.
Yeah.
But you never know what anyone's going through,
No.
and it's nice to be nice.
Nice
Be
to be
kind.
nice.
Be kind always. It's nice to be nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And hence why I'm doing this. It's like you could have the brightest person in the room, and then when they go home, and they,
100%.
you know, and you would probably kill yourself. Because I, you know, I've known you a while. Like you bubbly, like yeah, party, life is song. And then when you leave, you want to, and I self isolate.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? You spend so much energy putting on an image, and it's not you.
Yeah.
And it takes years to really not accept yourself, because that's the wrong word. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just say, like, no, I ain't doing it anymore. I'm not putting on.
Be comfortable in who you are and your own skin.
Yeah.
I think it does come with some people have it. Things happen at different stages of life. Like I had friends that were mature in their 20s.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was still like a teenager throughout my 20s.
Yeah.
You know, some people, things click before others. Some people are comfortable with themselves straight away.
Yeah.
Others, it comes later, doesn't it? For me, a lot of things have come later. But
so what are you going to do with that newfound power?
Just keep channeling it positively. Just keep, trying to be nice, kind, do the right things. Being polite is a big one all the time. Being nice,
Yeah.
I got asked about in that interview with Sogos about clients and people we work with. I remember I said I took a minute to think about it, and I just said, well, it's nice to work for nice people.
Yeah.
I like to work for nice people.
Yeah.
Takes
that stress away of having to fight the battles every time.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of battles to get to where we are professionally.
Yeah.
We'll probably have a few more, that's how it goes. But I'll deal with it differently now.
Yeah.
You pick and choose your battles, don't you? I won't respond
100%.
to everything like how I used to. I'll think, I'll let that one go.
Yeah.
It's
Would you have let that go 20 years ago?
Oh, absolutely not. Probably less than that, mate, But it's just live and learn and try and channel things positively.
If I put a video on for you, right, of you're 41, ain't you?
Yeah, 42 this year.
If I put video on, a little 5-minute video of your last 41 years, at what point of the video would you start to recognize yourself?
Well, that's a powerful question. I would say there would have been glimpses in my early 30s, but it didn't continue necessarily. But I'd say the past, mate, 7 to 8 months.
7 to 8 months.
Yeah, if I'm being truly honest.
Do you link that down to the issues with the baby?
Not just that, around the relationship.
Right. So that really sort of drove home change.
Absolutely. Yeah, I realised that I didn't want to be in the relationship.
Yeah.
Things that were happening.
Yeah.
I didn't
You
want to be in
grew your mind in knowing what you wanted. But so with that answer, if you just think, a lot of people would say, I've wasted 40 years of my life. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can ever say you've wasted, because you live and learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything that you do from now on could be the Jordan 2.0.
Yeah, it is, to be fair.
Do you know what I mean? You've done all that. You've been, partying. You've been an asshole. You've made stupid mistakes. Do you still define yourself for the last 40 years? Do you still think, I can't believe, or you like regrets and stuff like that? Or are you thinking, do you know what? Yes, but now I want to be this? Do you still hold on to things?
I've got regrets. I think I've said a lot of apologies to people that have needed apologies over the years.
Good, that's good.
I think that's important. But I have got regrets. Don't want to say I haven't, but I'm definitely better equipped now as a 41-year-old dad to be a better person and a better dad.
Yeah.
Because Spencer's at an impressionable age.
Yeah.
Bo's only little, but he's gonna be, and I'm glad that I didn't become a father in my 20s.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't mature enough to be a father in my 20s.
Do you think that might have? Let's just say you did. Could that have calmed you earlier?
I don't think so, if I'm being brutally honest.
That's a really great, honest answer.
Because I was
a lot of people go, yeah, maybe.
No, I was very destructive, still dealing with issues from my parents breaking up, and I'm estranged from my mum.
Yeah.
Like, that's still, I would have been destructive. But I think when I agreed to come on, I agreed to myself that I'd answer everything honestly and not, right.
No, I appreciate
it. Sit up, right. Let's do a textbook.
No, I appreciate it, because this only works if you're honest. This only works if you give honest answers. Because it's for you also. This isn't just for the thing. This is about your journey.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like with the what's his name's, like with the video. If you could look back and say you had glimpses, a few trailers, we call it.
Glimpses, ups, and then back into it.
The point I'm trying to get across to you is your progression, your journey.
Mm-hmm.
We don't pat ourselves on the back enough, right?
I never do.
Why not?
I don't know. It's like that imposter syndrome, isn't it? I'm not. I'll be honest with you. I never ever, and Sean and I never say to each other, like, we don't talk about what we've done or what we're doing.
Why not?
We don't. Then it could be anyone could lose it. Imagine that.
So what?
It could. I never do that. That's something I won't. I don't know. For me, self-praise is no praise. I'm not saying that. I've always had that mindset with praise. Like, it's like playing football. When I used to play football, you wouldn't tell yourself that you'd played a good game. You'd listen to your manager and your coaches and your players around you. You wouldn't tell yourself, I was brilliant.
Yeah, but that's because we like, that's a bit fucking egotistical, isn't it? I'm
well,
the best player on the pitch.
That's what I mean, though. With
but
praising
that's a bit
yourself.
different, because that's a performance that you put on the pitch. Let's just say, for example, right, one of your employees, or let's say a job. Let's say you just won a big contract. In your head, it's just another contract. There you go, lads. You don't go, I've done a good job to get that. I've done really well to get that.
I might think it, but I won't say it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've just gone for a walk. I've just done 4 miles. Well done. I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm not saying this wrong. I just find it hard for self-praise.
Well, then let's do that for me going forward now. So just pat yourself on the back now and then. I'm not talking about posting a Facebook post, a massive video. Look at me, everyone. I'm amazing. I've done this. I just bought myself a new car. Like I don't mean that. I'm on about when you do little things. Just I've done well.
Yeah, maybe it's in the back of our minds, but
there's nothing wrong with it, mate.
Yeah,
it's not egotistical. It's not pride. It's I've done well. I've done well today.
Yeah, I'll take it on board. I might struggle a little bit, but I'll take it on board.
Because I bet you any money if a friend of yours does something good, you'd be praised. Oh, mate, that's brilliant. Well done.
Yeah, it's easier to do
Why is it
isn't
easier to tell someone else they've done well, but you can't tell yourself?
It's that balance, isn't it? Of you're praising yourself, it can tip over to egotistical.
But
Look at some
that's what I mean.
people, you
That's
know.
what I mean.
But I understand. I get where I take the point.
Don't be like, oh, I brushed my teeth today. I'm the man. Like, do you know? I don't mean like.
Yeah.
I just mean sometimes when you do something good, or you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
something good for someone.
Yeah. No, I hear you, mate. I hear you.
I've made that person's day special today. I done that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you say you don't really know what people's going through, and you give someone a compliment, because men are terrible at compliments. We don't like giving compliments to other men. We, like I said, it's all we do it by insults. Like, oh, look at Billy Big Bollocks, like just like,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, mate, well done. You can't, like, you just got that new contract. You should feel proud of yourself. Well done.
Yeah.
Because we feel awkward. Oh, yeah, no, it's all right. Instead of going, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We go, oh, it was nothing. We downplay it.
No, I know.
You'll probably catch in your head now. Oh yeah, no. Last time you said I done really good, I just went, yeah, it's nothing. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Learn to praise yourself. I'm not talking egotistical, like weird shit. I'm just saying, like, I done well today.
Yeah.
Because if you can't praise yourself, then when you give praise to someone else, it's empty. Because you're just saying it because you feel like you have to, as opposed to actually saying, I've done well. Try it, mate. Honestly, change your mind. Change your whole mentality.
I'll give it a go.
Because you're on that, that journey now.
Yeah.
Be a pastor next year.
Oh, I don't know about that. Too many sins.
Yeah, be in a confession box
Yeah,
for about 4 days straight.
For a long time.
Is there anything you want to tell God before we make you? Wow, how much time you got?
He's seen it all, mate. So he
He's
knows.
seen it all. He knows.
He knows. Yeah.
There'd be a sign. The doors would be closed, jammed. You won't be able to get in. No, you'll be all right, mate. I think.
You say that joking. That when I was at school, we used to when we used to have confession at St. Peter's, we used to deliberately say as much as we could because it would keep you out of lessons.
Yeah.
Come back and you'd have to do like 60 Hail Marys and 5 Our Fathers and to keep you out of lessons. You had double maths. You were like, I don't want to go in there.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I was thinking about the next door neighbour. She's impure thoughts.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah.
Good times, mate. I think you're going to be alright. I think once you get the situation with the baby sorted out, that sounds like that's what I said to you earlier. Like if that gets all sorted out, what? Because what you've been doing in the last 8 months, 11 months, this journey you've been on. What I don't want you to do is once that situation sorted, you resort back. Like you're doing good things. Self-growth is good.
I think I've gone too far now. A lot of they say like the penny drops for different people at different times with different things, right? A lot of the pennies have dropped for me.
Yeah.
Might have been later in life, but they have.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't revert back to a lot of the things that I've been doing before,
Yeah. Do you find it a lot more natural now?
100%.
As opposed to forcing yourself to think away.
Yeah, 100%. Better choices. Just feel better in general. But it's down to being calm.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest piece of advice.
Yeah.
I've said it a few times today, but anyone watching it who's going through anything, I know it's easier said than done, but try and stay calm. Because if you don't, you've lost it.
100%. Is there anything else you want to talk about? You feel like you got a good lot off your chest?
Yeah, just the stigma around talking, the whole ethos of what you're doing, and what you've created should be applauded and supported.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it because it's my channel. Right? Like, I get a lot of people who watch it, and they're all of a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to like and subscribe. So I'm like, subscribe to the channel. They're like, they mess it on, mate. I watched it, but I don't know how to do it. I was like, because you got to set an account up.
Yeah.
With YouTube.
Yeah.
Email address. That's all it is. Email address, password. You've got an account, then you can like and subscribe. Like I get thousands of views. Like you post through.
We'll share it on LinkedIn or something.
Yeah, man. I go on LinkedIn and try and post on it because I'm trying to get well, I asked you, didn't I? But I'm trying to get like we struggle with prizes for auction, and we had
We'll have a chat off camera.
yeah, mate. Like I said, I've already asked. I know you do a lot of race. So, like, there's no pressure. Like I said, you don't ask, don't get. But I poked, I poked, I put it on LinkedIn, and I was like, "Oh look, we do this day. If any companies are interested in sponsoring or anything like that," and loads of impressions, like loads of views, but it's difficult because I know it can come across as quite beggy, but mate, I have to be.
Mate, look, we just for this morning example, like you like boxing, the boxer Chantal Cameron, like she messaged me on LinkedIn this morning asking about, and like as much as I love boxing, I'd love to help. Sometimes we have to say no.
Yeah, of course.
Because we have a budget, and it's not beggy.
No, mate, if you
have
don't
to
ask,
mate. But we personally, we have a budget, and we do a lot of grassroots football teams.
Yeah.
A lot of lads that work for us have got kids. We buy their kids kits.
Oh,
my
nice.
sons and different. You know, we do stuff like that. And Sean is more rugby, like into the like his boys play rugby and stuff like that. But so we do a lot of that, and then obviously we do stuff for Gloucester. But we've got a budget, so we can't. Sometimes it's painful to say no, but I've had to learn to say that.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, I get it. Like, and the fact that you're doing all this grassroots for kids, that's brilliant. Again, that's something pat on the back.
Oh, mate,
you're just looking at his business money on sponsor, but that's a good thing you're doing.
But going back to what you're saying, it's not beggy. Like that's what you need to, put it out there. If people don't know about it, how are they going to support it?
Exactly. I meant the first year I'd done it, I must have emailed about a good couple of hundred companies. Do you know what, right? I emailed every single Premiership football club, right, asking, I said, look, I'll buy the shirt, can you just get your players to sign it? Pretty much everyone ignored me. Arsenal got back to me, and they were like, really sorry, like we have our own charities that we have every year.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. Quite a few other, there was about 5 other clubs who got back to me. The only one that I actually got anything off was Manchester United. Mm-hmm. They sent a club crest through with player signatures on it.
No one wanted that though, did they? Free toilet paper.
Do you know when we was on that toilet paper sort of rations? No.
That's but I
thought, wow. Do you know what I mean? And I think I sold it for like 250 quid.
Yeah, that's good though. Company that size.
Exactly.
That,
but absolutely. They were like, yeah, no worries, lad. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Blew my mind. And so I was emailing Curry, like all these companies, and they were all saying the same things. Like, look, we have charities that we donate to. We can't say yes to everything. And so I get it. Like if you imagine I'm one person, if there's 1,000 people messaging saying, can you donate something? You've got to say no.
It's hard. Some people, I think, over the years, some people have been a bit took it the wrong way, but we can't say yes to everything.
No, I prefer it. No, sorry, can't. Then let me look and see what I can do, and then you don't hear from them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd rather just say, no, really sorry, we can't do it. No worries, thank you very much. And then you move on, you move forward, and that's it.
Keep going with it, though, mate. It's good. I think it's brilliant. Hopefully, you can get even Andy, everyone that you're getting through, myself, just letting people know that if you do want to have a chat, come and have a chat with
me. Yeah. Just spread the word. Like I said, I'm here if you know some people who want to come in, and because like I do a lot of charities as well, so people are coming in. Like I had Darren Keefe. Do you know Darren Keefe?
Yeah.
So I had him in because he ran the London Marathon.
Yeah, I saw the interview. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was really good. And again, I didn't know about the charities running for Reynard and Skiradima.
Yeah,
I learnt that for you, Darren. I couldn't pronounce this. Renewed Scooby-Doo. He was like Reynard, but he come in and talked about it. I had Sunflowers in talking about their charity, the work they do, and stuff like that. So I'm trying to go down that avenue as well. I get people just to come in and talk about, what charities that you support, or if someone's had maybe something with their child and they've had a charity, help them, stuff like that. So it's hard getting people in. Like I'm always open.
Everyone's got a story to tell, and I think the more people that come in, it's not all about owning a business and being successful and stuff like that. It doesn't matter what you do. It's just everyone's got a story.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Everyone.
regardless of what you do, that's nothing. That's a side thing. It's what you like as a person.
Yeah. Okay, so is that part of the interview where we're going to ask Jordan the question left by Darren? I don't know if you remember it. It was a bit of a weird one, but I liked it. I think all the questions are weird, to be fair. But so Darren's question was, in your household, who's your favourite Disney character? Moana or Elsa?
I'm gonna have to say Moana.
There you go. Mine's Moana. I absolutely love. Do you know that bit when at the end when the sea opens?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Let her come to me," and then she's singing like, "Oh my god, it breaks me! I cry every time, man." I'm like, my kids always know when I'm crying because I go silent. They're like, "Dad, you crying?" I'm like, "No,
of course not."
So Moana, what about your favourite Disney character of all time?
Favourite Disney character? Oh. I always like Sebastian the Crab from Little Mermaid. In his tunes.
There's no judgment here. There's no judgment here. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. Okay. Now, we like our guests to leave a question for the next guest.
Okay.
Again, you've heard the questions. They can be random. They can be as crazy as you want. Okay. We've had some like, will Trump ever release the UFO files? Yeah, that was Rory's. That was a great question. You can go serious. You can have fun. Whatever you want to do. So in your own time, post a question.
Okay. So I had a little think about it. You gave me a heads up, didn't you? But if you could give yourself one piece of advice, your 16-year-old self, one piece of advice for the future, what would you give? What would you say? What would you give yourself?
So if you could give your 16-year-old self one piece of advice,
knowing what you know now.
Knowing what you know now.
Yeah.
Now. Knowing what you know now, what would you give your 16-year-old self advice?
Yeah.
I like it.
That's a good one.
I think that's good. What would you give yours? Don't do it!
One piece of advice. Listen to your dad.
Sorry, let me start again.
Yeah.
What would you give yourself that advice? What would you give your 16-year-old Jordan?
Listen to your dad.
Listen to your dad.
Listen to your dad.
Because he knows this shit.
Yeah. So Spencer, if you're watching this,
listen to your damn dad.
He
won't watch it.
Happy days.
Happy days. We're going to leave it there. Hopefully you've enjoyed the interview and we've covered some good issues, mate, I think. And I really appreciate your honesty. Again, these are only as good as the guests, honestly. If you're trying to come in with an agenda, don't work. I don't get that from you at all. You've been open and I really appreciate that. So yeah, we've had Jordan in. As always, like and subscribe. I will do a video one day showing you how to like and subscribe. There's a few old people in here that just, hey, we've all scared of technology at some point. Jordan, thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks, mate.
It's been a pleasure.
Nice to see
you. And yeah, please take a watch. Leave any comments if you feel you need to. I've been Shane Mitchell. This has been Jordan. All the best.